So, guys,
It was just probably too close.
that works. I appreciate you letting me know. Guys, we are in a new software for this across the map sports that I've been testing out. That way we could bring you the best quality. And in order to do that, it's a lot of trial and error with this. So we're working on it. And so far it seems like it's going pretty decent right now, guys. So I appreciate y'all being in here. Welcome to Across the Map Sports with your boy, myself, the Coach Plays, and the man with the plan, Butcher's Block and Patriots Talk. What is up, Bobby? How you doing tonight?
What up, Coach? What's going on?
Not much, man. Not much. A lot in this world where I would say no sports is going on. It is still a lot of sports news out there. Still a lot.
There is.
And RQ3 already comes in with one right here. If I can find a way to bring you up into the broadcast. RQ says Cowboys dealing with Dak not showing for virtual OTAs. So, I mean,
he's a little heated. He's a little heated.
I believe that's a situation that's not going to go away anytime soon.
Nope. Not at all, man.
What's up,
until
Lady
he
Austin?
gets his money. Until he gets his money.
Oh, I know.
And they're gonna overpay for him. They are.
Oh, they're gonna have to. I mean, it's either that or I don't know. It could get pretty ugly quick.
Yeah, I got that Tron background, Water King. Coach sent me to Tron.
I sure did. He said, Bobby, that background looks dope, like some anti-gravity stuff. I've been good, Lady Austin. What is up, Elias? RQ3 says Jerry Jones always puts himself in the foot. And Goose Sports says, please overpay Cowboys.
I think Koo meant to say always shoots himself in the foot.
Yeah. Probably.
And yeah, that's a very Jerry Jones thing to do.
Absolutely. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into this. We're going to hit on a few topics tonight, and then at the end, we're going to do something special where it will be a segment called You Pick Sports. That way, y'all will be able to pick the topic, and we'll be able to hit on some of y'all's comments on just things y'all want to talk about as far as that. But we'll get into the first topic here. NFL draft update, guys, with all this COVID-19 going around. What are we, 9 days away from the NFL draft, if I'm correct?
We are 9 days and counting away from the first virtual NFL draft.
And when you even say those words, it just seems to be kind of unreal that we're 9 days away from what is going to be just a draft that is unlike anything other. I mean, being virtual. I mean, when you say the words, you're not joking around. It is 100% going to be a virtual draft. It's going to be all on basically Zoom, Skype, whatever they choose, that sort of platform.
Being the Bostonian and the pessimist and the kind of person that I am, I almost want somebody to try draft.
Say that again.
That would be. I almost want somebody to try and hack the draft.
Just
to make it interesting.
It's a 100% real possibility. I mean, there's a lot of nerds out there that can actually do something that can affect the draft in an unbelievable way.
The draft. And shut it, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, absolutely. The other Coach K said social distancing for these draft picks, no Goodell boos and bro hugs. That is, this is going to be the first time the commissioner hasn't ever gotten booed at the draft. That's a win for him, right?
Are you kidding me? Why do you think he doesn't come up to Gillette? It's our favorite pastime. We love to boo that guy up here.
I mean, did y'all see where they said he's going to be doing the draft out of his basement?
Yes.
He will be in his basement calling the picks out, which is insane. What's up, Griffin Fish Room? Appreciate you joining the stream. So we'll kind of dive into what this draft's going to look like, and then how we think what's going to come from it? Is it going to change anything? If it does change some things, what's some things we got to look out for? I honestly think now is the time it's really going to show what these teams have done as far as their draft group, as far as scouting these guys throughout the whole year, because they're going to lean even more heavily on their scouts who go to these college games, and then it's all about what they see on tape, because they while yes they've been doing virtual meetings, like as far as like Zoom calls or Skype calls, things like that. They don't really get that face-to-face interaction. I remember hearing on the radio Floyd Reese, former Tennessee Titan general manager, he said it will definitely not be the same, because you want to be in the room with that guy to be able to kind of tell how he answers certain type of questions.
Well, not only that, Coach, don't forget they had to do virtual pro days too.
Yeah.
They had to do virtual pro days, and think about this, right? It's from what I read, something that they were having trouble getting medical reports on some of these, on some of these guys. So how can you feel confident when you're, in drafting especially when you're picking in the first round? Like, how can you feel confident without, if you're having trouble getting the medical reports and you're literally doing virtual pro days, which basically you're not there. You have to rely on the videotape footage that you're sent. So it's definitely going to be an interesting, that's an interesting aspect, because you're putting your faith, in not only in the scouting team, but you're putting your faith in these people that are sending you these tapes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The other Coach K brought up a good point. Said the teams with the elite front offices will do fine. The ones who don't will struggle. And I mean, it very well could be.
Yeah. What's up, Elias? What's going on, man? The other Coach K in here, Goose 76 or Goose Sports. The squad up in here.
So it says right here in this ESPN article, it says, so will each general manager make every pick on his own? And it says, no, every team's arrangement will be different, but each of the final decision makers will have some form of secure connection with key advisors, coaches, and other staff as desired. So what you're going to see is, it comes in this article where the New Orleans Saints were going to try to have their draft, like they was either going to rent a hotel or a restaurant. They was going to have their draft all together with their guys in one room. And the NFL at one point was fine with that, but in order to make everything fair, because other places might not be able to have that, NFL has came out and said to tell every NFL team out there, no, you're gonna have to do the draft from your home, and they're gonna allow every general manager, at least one IT guy, available to go to their house to make the pick. So what you're gonna see, everybody's going to be at their own separate homes, and they're all going to be on like a Zoom meeting or Skype meeting, whatever they're going to try to do, have it set up with their own guys. That way they can have that conversation, and then it's up to the general manager and his assistant or whatever to get that pick to Roger Goodell and his staff. They said via text, email, Skype, Zoom, whatever. Like, they've got so many different. So it is crazy. Where I see it impacting the draft the most is I think it's a good chance you could see trades go down. I feel like there's not going to be as much trade movement in this year's draft, because I think it's going to be very hectic unless they decide to extend these picks, which I've heard that they're talking about extending the picks out
another couple, like 2 rounds at the end of it. Yeah,
adding rounds or adding time to each pick. You know how past few years they've taken time away. This might be the one year they add some extended time.
See, I was just gonna say the draft might be way longer than they expected, because think about how many avenues of think about the different avenues that information has to go to in order to get from the war room of these teams to Roger Goodell and him making the pick. I mean, we could see 5 minutes per pick easy.
Yeah, I agree. And Sabrina, like, say she comes up, on something we just kind of talked about. Also, she goes, "Are you concerned about hacking with Zoom or a team just messing up and picking the wrong?"
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
100% think that's a real
Absolutely.
possibility. Whether it's hacking or easily could be a team messes up with a pick or a team doesn't get their pick in time.
Because there's people out there that do these, believe me, these people that have the knowledge, and the hackers that have the knowledge, of the of all these, systems. They can manipulate it however they want, man. The, it could get interesting. Like, you could absolutely see somebody crash the draft. You
Yeah.
could absolutely see that. That is but see, and that's like, I think that's where the IT guys come in for each team, because that's huge. I mean, you could actually see the draft. Somebody actually try and crash the draft, which that is a realistic possibility that the NFL has to deal with now.
So, kind of hitting on Sabrina's question right there, or comment, it's talking about as far as if they don't get the pick in time. This article on ESPN says, "Do teams get any extra time?" Or no, it says, "What if a team does miss a pick?" It says it's possible an NFL could finesse a late submission, but it has not confirmed any such allowance as of yet. Normally, if a team misses its pick, the next team is eligible and can jump ahead. The initial team jumps back in line as soon as it can. So that they're going on with the same rules right now, but at any moment,
They can change.
they could change. What's up, Flatlines? Flatline is in the broadcast
Flatlines
here.
in the house.
Says, "Whoa, boy, that setup is sexy." I appreciate you, Flatlines. Hope you're having a good
It's
night.
almost as pretty as me.
Other Coach K says you almost need 32 secure connections to the NFL office, and that's not an easy task. I mean, for any streamers out there, anything like that. Now, of course, they're gonna have their best IT guys out there, but the internet and connections like that, it's always up in the air, man.
Look at what we deal with OBS and Skype and Zoom and all this others. Look at what we, dude, we're in the large scheme of things. I mean, we're small fish in a big ocean. There's, it's a realistic. The craziest thing is this: somebody could crash the draft, that is the craziest thing. Like, they could just have to say, we're gonna cut it up. We're gonna cut the broadcast off because we can't continue.
And boy, I sure hope no one. I mean, there's probably going to be someone out there who says, "Hey, watch what I can do. I'm actually going to try to do something here." But man, I sure hope not. The NFL fans don't want to see something like that happen, where some stupid guy in his basement finds a way to somehow make the NFL draft crash. But
I hope it does, and I hope we need something sports related, something like something.
Oh yeah, I mean,
We can't keep going like this, or I'm gonna lose my mind.
Oh, I know. This is going to be a really good getaway for a lot of sports fans. We're actually going to have a huge sporting event for like 3 days in a row, and it's something that America needs very bad.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
So look through here in comments. I had a comment, and I can't for the life of me remember it. So we'll kind of go in here. Jaquil says Elman was a quarterback in college. The other Coach K
just
says,
have him be the quarterback.
yeah, is the NFL and have the money. That's for sure. So that was my comment I was thinking about. A lot of people out there talking about, well, NFL should just push it back, things like that. They need to. I don't know why they're rushing it and all those things. Well, here's the issue with pushing it back. We don't know when this COVID-19 stuff is ever going to flatten the curve and everybody's going to get back to normal. We don't know when normal will come back. And the NFL, these players have to get drafted. Like, if you push it back, you might not be looking at a draft for what? Yeah, I mean, we don't even, at this moment right now, I don't want to say this, but we don't even know if the NFL will start on time. So if you keep pushing it back, then if you push the draft back, you're also potentially pushing back the start of your season back. Like, eventually this
Absolutely.
has to happen. So I think
They
it's
haven't even opened the team facilities back up.
oh, I know. What's up, Alder?
What's up, Artie? What's going on? Double A in the house?
Appreciate you being here. So, as far as this NFL draft is concerned, Butcher, what do you think? This virtual draft, no one's going to be there. As far as the team staff members can't be all in one room making their draft selection. They're all going to be in their separate homes. What do you think is the number one thing that it's going to affect come draft day?
You could see a lot of team like I think the success rate, the hit or miss rate in the first round, I think they have to be like we were talking about it earlier. Those scouts have to be spot on, or you're going to see some teams, they're going to, it's going to cost them a first round pick if they don't pick the right guy. Your first round pick's important. You mess that up and you're, you better make up for it in the next couple rounds. But I that's how I just think you're going to see a lot of. You're going to see a lot. Hopefully, I think the hit rate is, I think with these guys is going to be very shoddy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you right there. Titan Upload in the house says looking great, guys. Love the setup. Big shout out to Titan Upload, guys. He's going live just shortly after this one will end. I think he's going live around 9 o'clock Central Time. But don't hold me to that. Titan Upload, you can drop it on in the comments, guys. But he's got a great YouTube channel about everything Tennessee Titans, but today he's got a new show all across the board of the NFL. So if you're not a Tennessee Titans fan, well, you've got more NFL content with him now as he's going live with an NFL show every Tuesday night. So check him out. Flatline says, could go very, very wrong. They should allow at least the general manager and head coach and head scout in the same room. And I mean, yeah. But
and if you have to, honestly, if you have to, test them. You know what they should have done, right? They should have told these guys. Here's what they should have done. They should have told these guys a month ago, right? The three of you are going to be in the same room. So for 3 weeks, you got to get a hotel or do something like you need to quarantine yourself and do as much social distancing as you can. Because you three you're going to be the guys making the pick for your team this year. There's ways they could have done it. I think to be honest, I think they kind of botched it. There's ways they could have done this much better, and I think they rushed this, and it was purely a greed aspect of it. You know what I mean? This was purely a money-driven decision. There was much better ways they could have organized this out, and I think they just threw it together real quick, and just like for a multi-billion-dollar organization, it seems kind of like a kind of a half-hearted effort to do the draft. That's what I think.
Yeah, and I mean, even with what Flatlines is saying right there, as far as having those three guys, even if you put an IT guy with it, that's only 4 people in one room. Like, if you're testing those guys, if you make sure that nobody's having any issues like a week before and then maybe even the night before, you would have thought that they could have found a way to make that work. But
you could even take their temps and their vitals and their fevers the day of, and if somebody was showing anything, guess what? You ain't coming.
Yeah, I know. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to watch and see. What's up, your boy Rocha? He says 2 goats in the house. Appreciate you very much. Chewy LTD's
Rocha in the house. What up, Roach?
The sports reactions in the house. He says, "Sup, y'alls? What's the heck is Bobby on the Disney ride for?"
I'm in Tron.
Yeah,
Coach put me in the Tron movie.
Yeah, come around next week to see what see what background he'll have next week. So we'll I think we'll constantly play around with that one. So yeah, one thing I'm thinking about, I had something pop up in my mind when it regards to this year's draft. I I wonder if you're going to see, especially in the later rounds, but NFL teams draft in the later rounds players close to their facilities. Like, for instance, I'm just going to say this. I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, and I'm also a Vanderbilt Commodores fan. I think the Titans need a backup running back, and I would love to see them draft Keyshawn Vaughn out of Vanderbilt right in Nashville. Well, them being that close to a guy like that, they've been able to scout him his whole career at Vanderbilt simply because he's right down the road. Well, in this year's draft, with all the changes out there, and they've not been able to really go to pro days and get the physical, be there at the actual pro days, things like that, have that one-on-one conversation in person rather than a Zoom. I wonder if you see teams in the later parts of the rounds almost draft players that they've really been in close contact to, maybe around their own state or around the borders that they know. Does that make sense? Do you think I'm reaching there?
Yeah, no, it does. It does.
So
it's we're like, we really are in like uncharted waters though, because like nothing like this, like they've never had to do this. Like these multi-million-dollar professional organizations are they're putting all their faith in a head scout, a general manager, and a coach, in three guys, to make a pick. And they it's, you might as well shut the lights off and throw darts in the dark, because if you don't, when you can't have medicals, and like you said, when you can't sit down with these guys, because at these, they ask these guys questions that they don't want to be asked. They'll poke and prod for character issues and stuff like that. Like, in through Zoom, and it's a lot, like, these meetings are a lot, I don't want to say intimidating, but it's a lot different face to face when you're sitting with a guy, and telling him, oh, we're going to draft you and you're going to become a pro athlete, rather than just through a Zoom. It's a completely different aspect that they're missing out this, without this.
Yeah. And us sports fans, we're just hungry for this event because it's going to be the first big event since everything's been shut down. I hope that someone like ESPN or NFL Network, whoever you're going to watch it on, that they don't have complications being able to, give us the draft.
Yeah.
Because, man,
well, think about it. Like, once again, it's the okay. Now they gotta. So not only do they gotta organize 32 teams, right? And then they got to get them to Goodell. It's that spiderweb effect. Now they got to coordinate with all the networks that are going to be covering this. Like, they're probably planning right. They're probably, working out the bugs and stuff right now as we speak. They're probably fine tuning things.
You got to think they're testing all this
right now.
Like,
oh yeah,
every
guaranteed.
Single day. They're kind of doing. They might be holding like mock drafts with 32 other general managers at the moment. I would hope so. Something with this big of a magnitude, So yeah, I'm hit on that topic. It's going to be a crazy time. Hopefully, it all works out. I do think you're going to see some teams prevail. I think you're going to see some teams might really suffer from this type of draft. But we'll move along, guys, to our next topic. And it happened this past week. The XFL possibly done for good. Came out just a few days ago that they have basically told their employees, you're no longer employed with the XFL, and we have no plans in 2021. When you saw this news come across ESPN or whatever you were doing at the time, Butcher, what was your first thought?
They're not coming back next year. I think they're done. Now,
if you say they're not coming back next year, is there any chance they come back 2 years from now?
Vince is already trying to sell it. He's already trying to sell the rights to the XFL. He's done. They're done. The XFL is done. They furloughed all their employees. They basically told them, we're laying you off, and we have no plans in 2021 to come back. Do you really think they're going to take a year and a half off and then come back again? No,
I don't think
done.
so.
Vince is done. Vince and the XFL are done. They're toast. They're cooked. Goodbye.
I feel bad because I thought for the first few weeks there, they actually had something really good. There's a lot of things as far as the broadcast that I really enjoyed watching with the XFL. I think some of their rule changes, I think it's going to be very similar to the last time the XFL happened, that they actually did a few things right and the NFL is going to take it from them. Like, one thing right now that the NFL needs to do, they need to take what the XFL did with the referees and have mics on them and allow fans to be able to hear that interaction, because there's all this speculation that the fans talk about want to throw the refs under the bus, maybe cheating going on involved. That is one way to assure your fan base that there is no cheating going on in NFL games, is to be able to hear them.
They'll never do it. Have you seen who runs the NFL? They'll never do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it though. So
I like the pre-snap stuff. That was the pre-snap with the quarterback and that was pretty cool. The ability to hear the back and forth.
I also loved when they would actually review plays as well. You had someone in the booth and there was a camera and a mic on a guy, like the head referee booth guy, the review guy. I wish the NFL would take something like that. So the question is, are they closing because of COVID-19? Do you think that crushed them, or do you think that they were not gonna? Do you think it wasn't gonna work out regardless?
I don't think they were coming back again. I just think this whole COVID-19 thing is, I think it was kind of the straw that broke the. You know what I mean? Just the last straw. That was it. But I don't think they're don't get me wrong. They'll try and blame it on that. They'll say, "Oh, it was this. We closed because of the pandemic and all that." No, you closed because you knew you couldn't compete with the NFL. Nobody can.
Yeah, and it's other Coach K. I like this one. AAF, rest in peace. XFL, rest in peace. And what's tough is, I think players were really getting a second chance with this league. I mean, I've got right there one of the players that he instantly signed on an NFL roster the moment all this COVID-19 went down with Phillips. I mean, there were guys who were playing really good, getting looks, and now they're going to get a second chance in the NFL. I think
did you – sorry, man. How far into this did you read? Did you – because I've read some stuff, and it said that Vince and the XFL owe – their employees, their play, they owe a lot of money, and he filed for bankruptcy because he don't want to pay him, so he filed for bankruptcy, and he still owes all these refs, all these coaches, all these players a ton of money. So he found a loophole.
I have not seen anything.
He found a loophole and filed for bankruptcy. So
I saw something about bankruptcy on ESPN come across the board, but I did not see anything about as far as they actually owe their employees money or anything.
Oh, they do. A ton. A lot of money. And Vince filed for bankruptcy, so now he's going to get that money, right? So none of this. So Vince wins, right? Vince wins in this because he's not going to have to pay a cent. That money, that bankruptcy money, is going to be coming from the government to help him out, and then he's going to have to pay very little. So it's like the dude won. It crashed again, and Vince still won. How did it happen?
Coach K said he loved some of the new rules. He actually really liked the kickoff rule, which I thought was a pretty interesting spin to it. Titan Upload said we were all hoping NFL would have supported them more. I thought if there was anything that they were going to support, I think they were going to support the AAF if it eventually could have worked out for them. Because it would have been nice, if the NFL could get together with a league that basically, when you watch these players play in another league, almost like the Europe League back in the day when we were kids and stuff. You used to watch a Europe team, but one of the players would have a Tennessee Titan logo on his jersey, or a New England Patriot logo, where basically you're watching practice squad players, and it was almost
the AAF could be a minor league.
Yeah, it was almost like a minor league extension that in the offseason of the NFL, you could still be watching players from your favorite team develop and maybe, just like a farm system, just like,
No,
for
absolutely.
NHL fans, they keep a close eye as far as Predators. We keep a close eye on the Milwaukee Admirals because that's their farm system. That's players that you could be seeing within a couple years, So I think that
Absolutely.
I thought that there were some hope with the AAF that we would get to that point with the NFL, but that didn't last neither. So, I mean, I think it's just safe to say there's never going to be another league beside the NFL when it comes to football.
Yeah, like no, popularity wise, and just you want to know why the one of the biggest reasons why the XFL didn't succeed. There's no star power. There's no draw. You know, there's if the X put it this way, if the XFL had Colin Kaepernick in it, do you think people would watch? Absolutely, they would. The people
Yeah.
that hate Colin Kaepernick would watch because they want to see him fail. You know what I mean? You need like they needed to grab at least one star or a big name. No, it doesn't have to be a big name. They needed a big name and they didn't have it. They didn't have the draw.
Oh, I know. Even if they could have got someone like Tim Tebow to play, in the league.
Yeah, anybody like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They needed a big name.
Shout out to Flatlines right here, but he says the real Vince McMahon news in the WWE is that the WWE has been deemed essential and is allowed to continue. All hail.
That's because he paid the Florida governor. We all know that.
Can you believe that though? And sitting over here, UFC's trying to continue to go on, and they won't deem them essential.
That's a billionaire doing billionaire things for people.
I did when I read that article or when I seen it come across ESPN. The one thing I thought was that actually might be good news for something like the NBA. As far as deemed essential, like if the WWE can do it, you might have a fighting chance. I know it's a lot more people we're talking about, but as far as like the economy goes for America and how important sports is to this country, something like
Titan
the
Anderson,
WWE,
the hitman is the freaking man, bro.
but something like the WWE getting voted as essential might actually be good news for like the NBA. So, what's up, JD Rants? Appreciate you joining the stream.
Titan Anderson in the house, Flatlines, Brayton, Karam, Coach K.
What's up,
What's
Titan
up,
Anderson?
guys?
Big shout out to Titan Anderson popping up in here. Said, "What's up, Coach?" And the XFL didn't work because
The
there was
hitman is the man, Titan
nobody,
Anderson.
anyone who cared about.
The hitman is the man. I actually had a Hitman action figure growing up.
Yeah, favorite wrestler of all time, Bret the Hitman Hart. Flatline says, "Florida governor, here comes the money. Here it comes."
I was
The money talks.
actually watching that broadcast when Owen passed away. That was
Oh, really?
that I remember that. Yep.
That was a tough night. Tough night indeed.
It was.
So any last thoughts about the XFL closing for you, Butcher?
Yeah, I mean, Coach, I don't know about you, but there's not going to be another football league that can compete with the NFL unless they have some sort of star power, and it just doesn't exist, man.
How many games did you watch of the XFL? Did you see your interest?
Zero.
Huh?
Zero. None.
You didn't watch one? Not even
Not
on
a
the opening
single
week?
game. Nope.
Wow. Well, there you have it. All right, so we're going to move on from that one, and we're going to go into this next topic here, guys. NFL new look, question mark? We've got some teams starting to represent some new uniforms, some new logos, and we want to kind of hear from you guys what you think about this. Butcher, I'll start with you as far as like Tampa Bay, Atlanta. The Rams haven't came out with new uniforms as of yet, but they've changed their logos. And then the Colts, they've got this new alternate logo, and they apparently said they're going to kind of make some altercations to their jerseys. What's your thought about some of these that have kind of came out?
Okay, let's start with the Rams. First of all, the Rams should fire whoever designed those logos like immediately.
It's pretty
Like
bad,
they should
huh?
have been like they should have been fired an hour after they came out.
You know, I actually saw something where, and I'll put this one up here by Brent. Oh, here's
The
Brandon's
the fans, right? The
rating.
fans were tweeting the Rams back, right? And some of the designs the fans
Yeah.
were making were better than the
Well, that's the
actual
thing. I
what
saw
they,
one where a fan put together the Ram head and the LA logo together, and it was like LA with the Ram head coming around it, and it was actually nice.
dude, there was probably 15 to 20 out of like 300 that could have actually been there, like they could have actually used. And they looked really good too, but dude, talk about an epic fail.
And I don't want to ruin it for everybody, for anyone who actually likes the logo of the Rams, but I will say this: someone put it out there and outlined a male body part appendage on that Rams logo. So if you haven't saw that, hopefully you don't, because the first time you ever see it, I can't unsee it now. You can't unsee it, and that's bad. What's up, Sports Boy 37? Appreciate you joining the stream. All right, so you can move on. You've got your 2 cents on the Rams.
um, the I like what the Tampa Bay Bucks did. I like how they went back to their old school kind of number design in the early 2000s. I like that look.
You like whose
I
look?
think the new I think the new Rams, I mean the new Buccaneers jerseys and logo they look pretty cool.
Yeah, I
I
like
do.
the jerseys of the Buccaneers. I think they went very clean with it. You know.
Yeah, it's they went back to their Super Bowl year,
Yeah,
and I always liked those jerseys and the big like the big Buccaneer design on the side of the helmet, how they had it.
yeah.
Like I think it looks good. I think the Tampa Bay Bucks new logo design looks pretty good.
I think so too. I think their uniform design just they didn't go too flashy. I think the past few years they've actually been more flash, and this year they kind of dumbed it down. I think there's something to simplicity, and I think the Falcons didn't really want to go with simplicity on some of their jersey choices.
Yeah, they should fire their graphic design department immediately too.
I mean, you've got this one jersey I put up here that goes from black to red, and I just don't. They can try. I don't like it.
It looks like the longest yard jerseys, the ones that Adam Sandler wore. That's what
I
it looks
saw
like.
that meme.
It does. It looks just like them. Like, and once again, Falcons, once again, Atlanta. Hashtag epic fail. 28-3, bro.
Oh
28
gosh,
to three.
wow. You had to find a way to put that one in, didn't you?
Epic fail.
Flatline said the Falcons try to revive the XFL. That's facts. That is facts. So have you looked at this Colts logo at all?
The Colts one doesn't actually look too bad.
I think it's trash.
Well, the traditional one, like they kept the horseshoe the same, and then the alternate one is kind of stupid with the Tennessee and the like. That's what you know what I'm talking about. Like they the Colts should have just stuck with their traditional horseshoe. Like they are the alternate logo. The alternate logo is kind of stupid with the Tennessee and all that. And then but I did like just the tradition. I don't mind the traditional horseshoe for the Colts.
Yeah.
But anything outside of that, I think they're reaching.
Well, I just with this Colts logo right here, and then they try to put the state of Indianapolis in there. You know, I just
That's yeah. See, that's like the alternate one that I'm talking about. I don't like that.
yeah. That's the one I don't like. But I don't know.
But like the Colts, like they had like the Colts lettering, which was pretty cool, and then they had they just had like a lettered logo, and then they had the traditional horseshoe with they just kind of cleaned up a little bit. That looked really good. But that alternate logo that they tried to use the state of Indiana with, I think that's a no. I think that's a no go.
Yeah, I think it's bad. I know they've a lot of people has really ripped them through social media with that alternate logo. Elias.
Well, they did put up a participation banner. I mean, just kind of throwing that out there. Not to be a troll from New England, but
James Rogers, appreciate you joining the stream. He said, "I think the Colts logo is all right. They could be better."
yeah.
Uh,
The letter, like I said, the lettered logo, the Colts, and then the traditional horseshoe that they just kind of cleaned up. Those look fine.
yeah,
But that one that they tried to, they tried to use the state of Indiana with. I think that one doesn't look good.
yeah. Sports Board 37. I don't think you have anything to worry about the Titans as far as changing their logo anytime soon. I don't see that. They would have done it when they changed the uniforms.
I don't mind the Titans logo.
I love the Titans logo.
I don't mind. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. The other Coach K says, I think it's sharp. A lot of teams are doing that with the state and logo. I do like the concept of putting your state somehow in your logo. Like, a lot of people don't know, if you're not a Tennessee Titan fan, a lot of people don't really know, but the Titans logo with the 3 stars around the dagger represent the state flag. There's actually a lot of people out there that don't know that. So when teams like incorporate their state into the logo, I like it. I just don't know if I like what the Colts did with this C. I don't know.
It could have been. It just could have been better. That's all. It could have been better.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not trash. It's not like it's not like. I mean, it's not like an epic fail, but it's not like, they definitely could have done a better job.
So Flatline says, "Hey guys, I have a question regarding the NFL. I've been struggling with. Shoot it."
Shoot, Flatlines. What do you got?
Says Titans just changed uniforms, so don't think we will change anytime soon. Yeah, I don't think so. Now, I am excited about the NFL gonna allow. I don't think it's this year. I think it's the next year, but gonna allow teams to allow different helmets. That way, people can go to alternate logos and alternate. So I'm looking forward to that because I'm hoping the Titans will use that Tennessee Oilers, Houston Oilers.
Come on, Flatlines. Seriously, bro. Come on, bro.
If the Patriots were nicknamed Pats and the Bucks are nicknamed Bucks.
What, do you think we were born yet? Come on, bro. See where he's going with this?
What's up, Sin City Titan? He says better late than never. Appreciate you joining the stream, Sin City. That's a good one, Flatlines.
I know one thing. I know every man likes him.
What's up, Wild Bill? Appreciate you joining the stream. So, yeah, I mean... All right, so the question is, can the Rams save themselves with a really good uniform design?
Dude, you want to talk about like an epic backslide after the Super Bowl? Like, they, after appearing in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, they took a big step back. They've taken a big step backwards. Like, I don't know, man.
Oh, I know.
It's they got a lot. They're in a pretty deep hole right now. They got a lot of work ahead of them because they lost Brendan Cooks. They got a lot of work ahead of them to claw their way out, and they're in a tough division too, man. They're not exactly in an easy division. So,
and you know what else has kind of cooled down from that? All the talks about McShay or McVay
being the next guy. Yep.
Yeah, McShay. See, I called him McShay because I've already forgotten about him. So yeah, I mean that's definitely a lot of that is they've had a pretty bad turnaround as far as that's concerned.
I mean, there were McVay's not a bad coach, but he's not like elite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
like, there's a lot of coaches that are like second tier coaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but the problem is, like, when they went on their run, everybody wanted a piece of someone who was from the McVay tree.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I don't know.
But look at the Belichick tree. It goes to show you, like, these coaches under these, let these coaches under these teams that make it to the Super Bowl or make it far in the playoffs, like, the Belichick tree has done terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Belichick coaching tree has been awful.
For the most part. I know Titans fans are hoping that
outside of Vrabel, I mean, Patricia's 50-50, you know what I mean? But outside of Mike Vrabel, who kind of, he kind of took
It's
some
still
of the
too early
mindset.
for Vrabel. It's still too early because he could still fall. They could
But he
still
did have a
struggle.
good year though.
Yeah, no, he
He's
did.
had a good couple of years. And the one thing I like about Vrabel is he's adopting some things from Belichick, but he's also doing it in his own way too. Like Flores did that too. He took a couple things from Belichick, but they're also these guys who tried to copy Bill are the ones that just failed epically because they're just not as good a coach as them.
Yeah. No.
Like you can't do that. Like Vrabel and Flores are doing it the right way. They're adopting what they like from the Belichick system, and then they're adding their own flavor into it.
Now, I will say this: if they can ever draft some good players, I think is his name Flores in Miami.
Flores, yeah,
I think
yeah,
he's got a chance. I see some things out of Miami. I saw some things out of Miami last year.
yeah. He got them guys playing at the end of the year, and he got them playing well. Like Flores he was a good coach for us. He was a good coach. The players liked him. He was a smart guy. The wild card this year is going to be Joe Judge for the Giants. That's a wild card
Yeah.
this year because he came from Belichick too. He was the special teams guy, so we'll get to see a first look at how he does.
I will put this one up here. Flatline says McVay is really smart, but no one can be compared to Belichick. McVay is still just 34 years old. He is going to be around for a long, long time and have a successful career in football. And I agree with that.
I will say
They
this.
just got some.
I would.
They might be
I
close to rebuilding.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they're. I would take Sean McVay over Kyle Shanahan.
I'm a Shanahan fan, man.
That Super Bowl, that you put more blame on Shanahan not having enough faith to let Jimmy sling it and just see what the kid can do. You know,
I mean Shanahan's
like
not.
that was that Super Bowl to me was 60-40 in
Yeah, I
favor.
definitely don't think he's innocent, but I think as far as his future, I might take Shanahan over McVay because I think Shanahan's a heck of a ball coach, and hopefully for his sake, he gets a second chance or another chance at a Super Bowl, and he can be able to right some wrongs. I'm sure there's things he wants to do differently.
I just after seeing him do what he did, so he not only did he blow the Atlanta game against dude, he was up 25 points with like 16 and a half minutes to play or 18 minutes to play in the game. How do you lose that? Like how do you lose that? And then they were up in the third quarter. They were up in the third quarter again, and he did it again. Like I'm to be honest, I'm going to give Shanahan one more year, and if he doesn't come through and have a good and stop some of these stupid mental breakdowns that he has, I'm done with him. You know what I mean? I'm done with him.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 years in a row where he can't get out of his own way.
We'll see. Real quick before we move on to our next topic, Sabrina says, as a Giants fan, I like Judge's reputation with the players and what he has to say.
Yeah, the reports coming out of New York are they really like Joe Judge down there. Apparently, they're pretty high on him. They like what they see so far.
I've heard it. I've heard that. So hopefully that they can build. All right, so guys, for this last topic, we're gonna kind of put it into y'all's hands. We're calling this one "You Pick It." All right, so everybody, you can kind of get in the chat. We probably won't be able to get to everybody, but just kind of anything sports related, anything that you think is trending and you would like to talk about, kind of comment on, put it in the chat right now. We'll kind of talk about those few things. Like say, we might not be able to get to everybody, but hopefully we can get to a few. And if we don't get to you this time, come back next time and we'll definitely get to you. I'll bring up this one real quick. Sin City Titan says, what type of running back you guys think is the ideal back to back up Derrick Henry, I believe. A quick speed receiving back or another power back and just
scat
pound.
back.
Yeah, Butcher says
a scat back.
I tend to agree 100%.
Scat back who can pass block.
Now here's Sin City Titan. I don't know if you're from Tennessee, but I'm just outside of Nashville.
He's throwing this out there.
I'm going to throw it out there again. I want the Tennessee Titans in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round to select running back out of Vanderbilt University, Keyshawn Vaughn. He is a scat back that can also run you over. And if you don't know who he is, look him up, guys. I mean, he was the only player really that the Titans have, or that Vandy has had the past couple years. And I mean, Vandy would go into games going to hand him the ball off 30 times, and teams would know it, and he would still, I mean, just when you put up the sort of stats that he was putting up at Vanderbilt, you're doing something because they ain't got the talent around them. So I think of someone like a Keyshawn Vaughn, like say, if they don't get him, that's fine. But they need to get someone like him, someone who can be a very big threat catching the ball out of the backfield, but still is, can do the things in between the tackles.
Well, so here's a Titan question for you, Coach. Do you think Simmons will be better than Casey?
That one, that's a good question, Jason.
That's tough.
I think Simmons has a high ceiling right now, and it's going to be kind of turned off into – it's going to be his game next year because them moving on from Casey, I think they feel good about their interior defensive line with Simmons and who's the other one? Daquan Jones. I don't know. Man, we hope. I don't know. Jarrell Casey had a heck of a career, but he still went undervalued, kind of under the table. I think he can be a very dominant performer, but will he have the career like Casey? Man, I don't know. He sure did impress me in the eight or so games he played this year. He probably played more than that, actually.
So Coach K says, what do we think about the Masters in the fall?
Wait a minute, let me get to that. Oh, as long as they play it, I'm fine with it. It's going to be different. I mean, you're not going to see the springtime flowers. But I just want it. I just want the Masters.
Yeah, like I thought for sure that they wouldn't. I didn't think they were going to play it. I didn't think they were going to play it. So I was kind of pleasantly surprised when they said they were going to still play the Masters.
Yeah, I like say as long as they have it, I'll be fine with it. I'll definitely be.
We might have to do some golf streams, Coach.
Oh, I will 100% golf stream, and we'll golf clap. I do want to get to this one because Coach K put it out there. He said Christian McCaffrey setting the running back market for the next few contracts. What did you think about that contract when it came out, Butcher?
It's what, $16 million a year?
Yeah, it's around that part, and he's got I think about $30 million guaranteed.
I think he's worth it, and I think he's 100%. Proven that he's. I think he's proven that he's worth it. Now I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised when they said it was $16 million. I thought for sure he was going to get 20.
Yeah,
or closer to 20. Closer to 20 than that.
It's just the running back.
I thought he was going to get closer to 20 than that.
Like he's also he can play the slot. That's why
that's
he
what
got
I'm saying.
what he got.
That's what I thought it was going to be like 18. 17 and a half, 18,
Yeah.
Like 16 for a guy like that, that's a good deal.
Yeah. And maybe a part of him getting 16, he also seems like a guy to me that will take some pay cuts to better some players around him.
He is a beast. Christian McCaffrey is an animal.
I wanted him coming out of the draft so bad because I thought he could be a running back, wide receiver, anything.
Yeah, you can. I mean, think about it. You put him. Like McCaffrey in the slot. That's a mismatch all day against a linebacker. Dude, forget about it. I throw the ball. I check down to him all game.
Yeah. So other Coach K brings up a point that people's talking about here in Nashville. So what will Henry get if the Titans settle on a deal? I do think the Titans will get a deal done with Henry. They're talking about it. They're in the discussions. I think both parties want to get a deal done. From things I'm hearing, I still don't think the Christian McCaffrey money is really going to affect the Derrick Henry money. I think who it affects the most is someone like an Alvin Kamara, because he's kind of like a
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yep. The
I
same
think
back.
Kamara is
Yep.
gonna probably get paid more than what Christian McCaffrey got paid, simply because he'll be
Oh
the
yeah.
next man up. But Derrick Henry is
Mhm.
not Christian McCaffrey. Derrick Henry's great, but he doesn't give you everything that a Christian like. They're just two different types.
You want to know what's funny, Coach? Right? Derrick Henry's greatest weapon is going to be the reason he doesn't get paid a lot of money.
What, being the cowbell?
No, being that big bruiser, just tank of a running back that you put 6 yards behind the line, and his lack of he's one dimensional.
Yeah.
So that's his greatest weapon. You especially if he's got a fullback in front of him, dude, forget about it. You're getting 7 yards a carry with that dude. He's just a beast. Like, but you can't. I mean, you could line him up in a slot, but is he going to be successful? Maybe 50% of the time,
Yeah,
or 20, maybe 30 or 40%
about
of the
the only
time.
way he can be effective out of the backfield is like in the screen game. He's done a lot of good stuff in the screen game, but he's
that's what
not
I'm
a
saying.
guy like you can split out there like a Christian McCaffrey or an Alvin Kamara.
He is a freak athlete, right? The dude, like, you should not be that big and be able to move the way he moves. You know what I mean? Like, he's a freak athlete. But at the same time, it's the one reason that's going to cost him why he's not going to get, you know what I mean? Christian McCaffrey is a 3-down running back. You can put him with a fullback and have him go smash mouth between the tackles, or like you said, you can line him up in the slot and run him on a wheel route and beat the linebacker every time.
Yeah. Sin City had a good one. It says Derek won't get paid because he's a running back. Mamas, don't let your boys grow up to be running backs. I like that. That was pretty good. James did say Henry's worth about 10.5 to 12.5. I think you're probably going to eventually see him sign anywhere from about 12 to 14. I think that's
me and you are on the same page. I said I would feel comfortable. I would absolutely feel comfortable giving Henry 14 to 14 and a half.
I think that's
because he's worth it.
Yeah, I think that's probably
and
where
give
he's
him.
going
And
to
you know
end
what?
up at.
I would force the issue 3 years, because you usually get 3 good all-star years out of running backs. Yeah. I would sign him for 3 years and 14 and a half in a heartbeat. Or if he would take it and give him a chunk up front. Give him 70% of that.
That's what
I
was about to say. You could see a lot like a Tannehill deal, where it's a 4-year deal, but it's kind of front loaded, and Titans are protected to where after 2 years they can kind of get out scot-free.
That's what if I was Tennessee, I would try to go 3 or 4. I would not want to go any longer than 4 though. Yeah. 3 years is ideal, right? It's ideal. I would say 3 years at 14 and a half, and give him 30 up front,
Sin City said, no way Derek's getting 3 years, 48. What's that average?
It's a little over 15. A little over 15.
You could see it though. I'm telling you. I think he's going to sign close to 14 mil a year. I would.
Yeah.
If the Titans get him at 12 or below, I would be 100% shocked.
He's not going to get Zeke Elliott money, right? Which is
15 and a half.
Elliott's making what?
15 and a half.
15 and a half, right? And he's so he's not going to get that, but they're also not going to lowball him and give him 10. So what's in the middle? What it's going to be 13, 14. It's going to be 13, 14, probably right around 13, 14 a year.
If the Titans could lock him up 10 plus a year, Sin City Titan, I'd be ecstatic. But it's not going to happen. Like right now,
no, he's going to want more.
The tag alone, he gets 10.5 a year.
Yeah, he's going to want more.
And so
that's what I mean. Make him happy. The dude carried you guys to an AFC title game.
I want
give him
the
Titans,
3 years. I want the Titans to give him a 3 to 4 year deal, simply because I think he's still he's a freak. He's still going to be in great shape. He's really haven't showed any signs of slowing down, an injury, or anything like that. I think, and this is the Titans' time. I mean, they're going to start pushing. I mean, they don't want to rebuild. They want to take a chance at it. So, I mean, you need to pay him for that window of 2 to 4 years, and you go for it at that point.
And here's the thing too: you could always help him by getting him a fullback. Either draft a young fullback, sign one out of, or sign one, sign an unrestricted, sign a fullback, and that'll help him too, because he don't have to, get that lead blocker in front of him to help him. Like there's ways you could extend that and definitely make it worth it. Like I sit like 14 is, I think, is probably right around where he's gonna sign.
So we'll hit on a couple more guys. I just put it up there. Brayton, quick question, says, where do you think Cam Newton will end up? And I'll start this with saying I don't think he's going to end up anywhere anytime soon. I think this is going to be a signing pretty late.
Nowhere. He's going. Where you going? Nowhere.
He's going to sign somewhere.
Nowhere. He's going home. That's where he's going.
You think he's going to be forced to retire? This is a former
He's going home.
MVP.
Bye, Cam.
A former MVP.
He's going to choose retirement. Get it?
I don't think so. I think he ends up. I don't know. I thought the Chargers was a good spot, but they don't really seem interested.
This year and the next year, here's my reasoning why I don't think anybody's going. At least if somebody signs him, they're gonna go wicked. They're gonna try and lowball him.
I honestly think he's in line for a 1-year contract.
I don't know, man. This year and next year, the draft for quarterbacks is deep. There's a lot, there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out this year and next year. Or I shouldn't say, there's a lot of quarterbacks coming out. Maybe we don't know how good they're going to be, but there's a lot of QBs coming out this year and next year. I would almost say Jameis Winston's going to get signed before Cam Newton will.
Yeah, that's
because at least Winston has youth on his side. Cam doesn't even have that.
I would sign Jameis Winston. I keep hearing like some connections with Jameis Winston and the Steelers, and I think that would be a really good signing for the Steelers if they got Jameis Winston as a backup.
No, that wouldn't be bad. Yeah, no, absolutely. That I could see him going there.
Jameis
Tomlin
Winston still has a chance in this league. He's got ability.
Yeah. His raw God-given talent, even though it hasn't been coached well over the years, he still has raw God-given athletic ability. And that alone can keep you in the league because guys can try and coach that. They can try and there's something there to work with. I think Cam's arm is toast. I think he's got no energy. Like I don't have a lot of faith in him playing at a high level still. You know what I mean? Like somebody might sign him as a backup, but I just think his time of playing at an elite level is gone.
I think you're going to see his situation really drag out, and I think it could be a signing that happens late, and it might be a signing that happens because of a quarterback going down in preseason or something like that. So I don't know. Real quick, Taylor Smith says 5th-year option. Who would you go, Adoree Jackson or Corey Davis? As of right now, I go Adoree Jackson simply because the lack of corner depth right there. I think Corey Davis could still have a breakout year for us this upcoming year. And they might go both on the 5th-year option. But at this rate, I would go Adoree Jackson.
What I don't think it would cost you guys a lot to keep them both, would it?
It's like 10 mil or 10.5 to pick up the 5th-year option for a corner, and it's like 15 mil for a wide receiver. So I think they easily do Adoree Jackson. I think they think about, because 15 mil for Corey Davis, they might. He's got ability, but
they'll probably waive. Now that I'm thinking about it, Jackson's probably going to stay, and Davis is probably going to go. They'll probably.
Like I say, we've got them both for this next year, but they're going to have to make that decision on the tag.
No, that's what I'm saying. At the end, you'll have them for this coming year, but I think that they're going to take the I think they're going to take, like you said, like that corner. That dude, the Titans are going to need corner depth. They're going to need it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I do think the Titans will draft a corner in this upcoming draft, maybe two. But I also wouldn't be shocked if they draft a wide receiver. This is a deep wide receiver draft. And guys, here in the upcoming videos of Across the Map Sports, we're really going to start to dive into the NFL draft. I'm going to get with Butcher. We're going to really talk about some prospects, and we might do almost like a. I would love to hit on almost every team in the NFL and their draft needs and what we think that we've got some things working. So be on the lookout for that. And we're also, if Butcher is going to be available, we're also looking to do a live play-by-play of the NFL draft next week. So that's going to be a fun time. Hopefully we can actually have some content to be able to watch, sit back, and enjoy the draft, guys. So be looking forward to that one. We will get to this last question here to wrap us up. The other Coach K says, what do y'all think about Disney telling the UFC and Dana White to postpone UFC 249? The mouse stepped in and told Dana, that old Bostonian, to settle down.
I don't know, man. He's trying desperately to keep that going because he's looking into islands. He's trying to do everything he can to
want
keep
him
that.
Too, because I was 100% about to be on board with getting the pay-per-views and start doing some play-by-plays on here, sitting back and watching some UFC.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I know he's doing everything and anything, and he's exhausting every avenue he can to one, like, I know he's trying to keep his guys safe too. He wants to do it. He wants it to keep going, but he also doesn't want to put anybody, in an unnecessarily risky situation either. That's why he's trying to be, he's trying to get it to where it's, it's still in empty arenas. It's still in the, he's got a protocol in place, for it to go. He just, ever since these counties and these states started getting more strict with the restrictions, they just haven't been able to find a venue to hold it in.
Yep. And I don't know if he will find one.
Yeah. Until they start lifting some of these restrictions, I don't think he's going to be able to get one because it's against the law to do it.
I agree. And I agree with you, Sin City Titan. I do think they'll probably pick up a swing guard or someone to compete, but they also need a right tackle to compete with that Dennis Kelly over there. So they'll definitely go lineman in the draft.
So I know I'm not a Titan fan, but I do follow. I know a little bit about. I try to know a little bit about a lot of things, and what I mean. So that way I'm kind of spreading it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But one of the things I think the Titans could really use is granted that offensive line last year played phenomenal in that playoff run. You guys' offensive line played out of their minds good during that playoff run. But drafting like a guard or a tackle or like a utility guard and then a for sure tackle maybe in the fourth or something, just having that offensive line depth, I don't think would hurt the Titans at all.
I'll tell you right now, I won't be shocked if they draft a tackle in the first round. If one of these really good guys drops to pick 29, Titans 100% could draft a tackle, and whether he starts or not, just do nothing but add depth because they lost Conklin. I know Dennis Kelly might be the guy to step in there, and maybe he'd do a good job, but I 100% believe they will draft linemen, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him drafted in the first round.
Now, I will say this, speaking of linemen, right, because I love me some hog mollies, and I used to be one of them, so Becton is a hell of a prospect. The one thing though with him that concerns me is the footwork. I think his feet are too slow. I think it's going to hurt him. If there's a rush coming off the edge, I think he could struggle with that.
And here's the thing, guys. When you start talking about this draft and drafting linemen to maybe be a starter, and I think drafting a lineman early for him, asking him to be a starter in the NFL right away is extremely difficult. But guys,
Oh, that's huge.
we're
That's
staring
huge.
at a season next year that might not have as long as an off season, or like OTAs and fall camp, things like that. Like, there could be very limited amount of preseason and practices, things like that going into this year, that when you draft, you might see a lot more first round picks not start right away. I think you can plug and play some guys right away, like maybe a
The
running
top,
back or wide receiver, but as far as
yeah.
linemen, they need time to gel.
hmm the top 8 to 12 guys, you could plug and play on NFL rosters. Outside of that, when you get into that 15, 15, 16, 18, 20, outside of the top 10 to 12 guys, those are your plug and play. Those are your guys where you're going to say, if you draft a tackle in the top 8, yeah, guess what? But you're the
Yeah.
starting left tackle, and you're protecting the blind side of our franchise quarterback.
Yeah, and like say for a lot of teams out there drafting in the first round, yeah, normally their first round draft picks will play a lot, but in
Mm,
this year, I think you're going to see even less
of
if
it, yeah.
if the NFL gets pushed back and they lose like practice times and OTAs. Now maybe they don't, hopefully they don't, and maybe it goes off without a hitch and there's no changes. That's all what we're hoping for, but there is a chance that you might see a reduce in practice time, OTAs, fall camp. So that's things that these general managers 100% are thinking about.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of movement in this draft. I think the top 10 picks, I think, are going to shuffle. They're
Do you
going to they're
not?
going to shuffle
So
they're going to shuffle
do
around.
you
I
not
think
think with the draft, as far as being like virtual and really relying on phone calls or Zoom messages, things like that, do you not think that that's going to affect the trade?
I think we're going to see a lot of movement in the top 10. I think there's going to be teams that are going to make serious attempts to get as low in the draft as they can
And I
go.
will say this, as far as the top 10 is concerned, those trade talks are already happening. They've been
Yeah.
happening.
Oh yeah, no
So
doubt,
maybe
no
maybe
doubt.
not early it affects it, but I do think maybe later on in the draft where they haven't already kind of planned out some trades, like some second, third, fourth round trades. Maybe those don't happen as much. But yeah, I agree with you on that as far as like early first round. You could probably still see a lot of movement because those trade talks have been going on since the scouting combine.
Coach K made an interesting comment there. Did you see that one
The small school,
about the small school
yeah.
guys? The undrafted oh yeah, those undrafted guys. Yep.
I,
Yep. Those are the guys. They're going to get hurt
I think
too.
you're going to see an even bigger undrafted free agency after the draft this year. I think it's going to be pretty frenzy like, even more than normal.
This is just, dude. It's gonna this is gonna be insane. Watching this draft and it's gonna be insane.
Well, that's the thing.
There's
Like, if we sit here and we have a play-by-play of it, it's going to be like, yeah, we're going to be kind of diving into all the draft picks and things like that, but just diving into how this draft's going to be is going to be pretty interesting in itself.
yeah. There's plus the top 8 teams. There's like 6 different directions all of them could go. You know what I mean? I think in the top 10 we're gonna see some shockers.
Yeah, I mean we could. I think we're in for it. I think we're in for a lot of things to shock us with this draft.
What if the Redskins pick a quarterback? You know, 2 years that's a possibility.
It is a possibility. I think it'd be stupid.
The
But
Redskins are stupid, so I mean Snyder runs that
if the
organization.
Redskins take a quarterback, the Lions don't even need to think about who they're drafting. They
Oh yeah,
they call the front office and they tell them Chase Young 100,000 times if the Redskins end up taking a quarterback. If Chase
I know,
Young
I know.
slides to pick number 3, that might be the steal of the draft already at pick 3. I love
Mm.
Chase Young.
Yeah, dude. You put him on. Yeah, he's he's an athlete. That's for sure.
I appreciate you, Griffin Fish Room. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all coming in here. As always, when you come in here, hit that thumbs up. That always helps out the stream. Share it out to grow the conversation. As always, if you haven't yet subscribed to the Coach Plays, consider doing so. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this guy right over here, Butcher's Block and Patriots Talk, guys, his link to his channel is in my description. Go down there real quick. Click his link and give him a big follow, guys. He's always anything Boston sports, and he's also doing just topics about all around the other sports and things like that, but he's also just a genuine guy, guys. So go ahead and lock him down. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all joining us for this first edition of Across the Map Sports, and I think it's going to be something that we're going to do quite a bit often, guys.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it.
I think it will be good. And guys, this will also kind of float. We'll go from the Coach Plays, and then we'll have this show on Butcher's Block and Patriots Talk. So we'll do this on both channels, and maybe we'll soon kind of get down together, maybe a schedule if we can. But if not, we will try to push out the schedule a couple days in advance. That way, y'all can
For
kind
sure.
of be
For
able
sure.
to
We'll try to
tell.
give you guys a day or a little. We'll definitely give you a heads up.
Yeah. So, guys, I
When it's
appreciate y'all because y'all are the what makes it fun in here. I love the topic of You Pick Sports because I love being able to just sit here and just talk sports with y'all, and y'all bring up some topics that y'all want to kind of get out there that maybe, anyone else is not really talking about. So, appreciate y'all. Sabrina says, I really like the format of this stream. Great show. Appreciate you, Sabrina. Butcher, you got any closing remarks before we close this one out?
I am good, man. I am good.
He is good, man. A few words, guys. I appreciate you, Butcher, for getting on the stream. Appreciate everybody, guys. And until next time, guys, stay safe, wash your hands, and peace.